is it on? Yeah. Okay. So the first 5 ones are just warm up. So it's just to get everything moving a little bit. And so these glute raises are shoulder bridges. You're going to be knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And then what you want to do is you start the movement with, you contract your glutes, boom, and then you push up. So what should be on the floor is your shoulders, your head, your neck, and your feet. Okay. Okay, and at the top, what you want to do is you want to make sure 2 things. 1, glutes still contracted. Squeeze them. And that if in your head you go, put your hips up an inch higher, that you can't. Because if you can't, that's where you need to be to begin with. Then you bring it down and release your glutes and squeeze again. Okay, squeeze and up and down. So it's release, reset, squeeze. Okay. Okay? Got it. So those are those. So you're just going to do 10 of those. And then you're going to do prone walkouts. This just starts everything going. You're going to spread your legs as much as you need to so that your hands can go down to the ground. Okay. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to walk it out into a plank position and then walk it back. Okay. Okay? So those are prone walkouts. Okay. You're going to do 5 of those, and then once that's warmed up, you're going to move it into an inchworm. And so what that is, same starting position, but walk it out with your hands into that plank, and then what you want to try and do without bending your knees, walk your feet up to your hands. Oh, okay. And then you walk it out again. So you can do 5 of those. Okay. And you can do those forwards and backwards. Okay. Okay. Supermans, this is really good too, especially if you're working on your abs a lot. This helps strengthen your back. Okay, so you start lying on the floor, arms out, and there's lots of fun variations, and we're sticking with the normal one. All you do is you contract your glutes, you contract everything in your butt, and you just feet up. Okay. Okay, hands up. You hold it, and then you bring it down. And up, and so this should be, you should be tense. Everything should be contracted. Glutes contracted, everything. Okay. And bring it down. And that's going to help build up your back. And then just to warm up your hips a little bit, you want to do segmental rotations. All you're going to do is bring your knees up, and you're going to let them drop down to one side. And just hold it for a sec. And then bring them around to the other. Okay. So that's just to warm everything up. And you're going to just do that a few times. Okay. And that's going to get everything warmed up. Then the actual workout, I did it so depending on how much time you have, if you only have 5 minutes, just do it one time. If you have 10, 15, do it more. Okay. 10 reps each time. So remember your squats, feet shoulder width apart, toes straight, and just like you're sitting back in a chair, boom. Okay? So you don't want your hips leaning forward. You don't want to be bent forward. Okay. Like that. And if you're not sure you're doing it right, get a chair. Get a chair and sit back, and then, stand back up. And just make sure when you're coming up, you're pushing through your heels. Boom. Okay. So 10 squats, because you cannot ignore your lower body, even with all your bike riding. Okay. Bicycles are next. This is one for your abs. It's going to work your obliques a little bit. So what you do is you're going to take opposite elbow to knee. Okay. So up. Now, so I'm touching here, shoulders off the ground. This leg, what you're going for is as straight as you can be, and point that toe, okay? And then rotate. Okay. So if that's hard, you can have your leg up higher at first, but you're looking to ultimately be nice, boom, boom, boom. Okay? So those are bicycles, so you'll do 10 of those. And then walking lunges, much more functional than a stationary lunge. They are the best thing for your quads, your lower half. If you just do squats and deadlifts, squats and lunges, I would throw deadlifts in there too, but that works a lot of your lower body. So just make sure that you're not, a lot of people go way too wide so that this back leg is almost straight, and then they end up, to get low, they end up bent over their thigh. So what you want to do is just take like a normal walking step, make sure that back foot is up, and you just bring it down. This might be your range of motion at first. You're going for full range of motion, is your knee is just gently kissing that ground. Okay. But, and if you need to, just take a step, bring it down however low you go, make sure your chest is up. Just stop here, and then go with your other instead of walking it through. Oh, okay. Okay, the next one for your abs are slow letdowns. We're going to do like 5 of those, and then into a flutter kick, the very last. So you start on the ground. You want to make this diamond. Put it right here under your tailbone. Okay? Feet up. And now, you're just starting out, you want to keep your feet together. As your abs start getting stronger, and you can tell because this will start getting really easy, when you reach the point that you can do full range of motion with your feet together, all you have to do is separate them about 6 inches, and it's going to up the ante a little bit. And what you want to do, try not to point your toes, have them flexed, so it's like you're trying to walk on the ceiling. And then what you want to do is at your pace, the slower you go down, the more you're keeping that muscle under tension. And what you're looking at, like I can go down all the way, but what you're looking at is if there's a point in that movement that you can't keep your lower back on the ground, that's your limiting factor. That's where you stop. You stop right before you get there, and then just bring them straight back up. And a lot of times people can't bring them back up. So if you can at first, you can do down, and then pull your knees into your chest and go back up. And if that's really hard, if you're not even there yet, start one leg at a time. One leg at a time. Just don't let it touch the ground on the bottom. Bring it back up. Okay, and once it gets easy to do one leg at a time, then you add both legs. And when that gets easy and you can get it down to the ground, then you just separate them. So after you do like 5 or 10 of just the letdowns, when you hit the bottom on your last rep, give me flutter kicks. So make sure your feet are flexed and just up and down. And you can do small ones, just like that. Okay, so that's really good for your abs. Push-ups. One of the best things for your boobs.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when I finished losing that 200 pounds, they were down here. You know, and it's that and chest presses are what got them back up to where they were supposed to be.
Good to know.
and you don't need to start unmodified. You know, you don't need to start toes and hands. And you know how to do them from when we train together. I don't need to show you push-ups.
Right.
Okay.
No.
And then side planks. So this might be a little advanced. And if it is, you can just sub out one of the other exercises I put on the back.
Okay.
So a side plank, there's 2 ways. You can do them here on your hands. What I want you to look at is my feet. So my feet are a little wider apart because when I go over into a side plank, I just let them drop. Okay? And hand up. So you're like a T. Okay? Now, if that's easy, you put your feet closer together because then you can stack them. And if you're really sadistic, you can spread your legs.
Oh my gosh.
You can also do them on your forearms, up on your toes, okay? Make sure your butt's not up.
Okay.
Make sure your hips aren't sagging nice and tight. And what you do here is just take this arm, if I'm going to go this way, so it's a 90-degree angle, your shoulder right over your elbow, just like that. And that's going to give you a little more support.
Okay.
Okay? So those are side planks. And what you want to do is get it, stick it nice, and then go, and then do the other side.
Okay.
And do that a couple times. Max hold plank. So after you do those, just hold the plank as long as you can. After you do that, you're going to hold a wall squat as long as you can. So one of the best things for building up the joints and ligaments, tendons, and everything around your knees. Okay, so you just bring it out. Boom. And you're going for ultimately 90 degrees. You want your thighs parallel to the ground, lower back tight against the door. Okay? And you build up to it so that you can do it for like a minute. And once you get to that, let me know and I'll show you some ways to make that more fun.
Okay.
Okay, and so a couple more because I know you wanted abs. Russian twists. So, when you start off, you might have to keep your feet on the ground. What you do, sit up, knees bent, lean your upper body back at a 45-degree angle. Okay, what you ultimately want to be able to do is take those feet off the ground.
Oh.
Even to the point of straightening them. But usually you'd have a weight, but even with that one, what you want to do, pretend, bring it around, like right behind your hip, and then around, and around. And that's going to work all these obliques in the rotation.
If I have a weight, can I start with the weight?
Oh, yeah.
Because I have some
Yeah.
weights. Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, if you need to, you might need to keep your feet here. Even if you keep your feet here, still get that 45-degree angle, okay? Because that's going to work on strengthening your back, keep your abs really tight.
Okay.
And just try and get down here. Don't swing it out. I don't want to hurt your shoulders. Nice and tight. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
Okay? Crunches with the heel push. This takes crunches, and it just ups the ante a little bit more. It gets it a little deeper. Normal crunch, just off your shoulders and upper back, off the ground. Don't hold your head.
Okay.
And don't crunch your chin. Keep everything just nice. Let your abs do the work. But what you want to do, if you put your feet like this, and then really, as you come up, push into the ground. Okay? And you will feel it like 10 times.
Really?
Yes, it just really ups the intensity.
Good.
Boom, just by pushing your feet down. Full range of motion sit-ups, obviously, chest to knees. But you might be able, if you're doing it at home, stick your feet under
Under
a
a
chair
couch
or
or
under
something.
the couch or under the bed
Okay.
and see what you got.
Okay.
And then the last one I had on here for you was mountain climbers. So you get in your plank position, and there's a very ballistic cardio way of doing them, and then there's another way of doing them. So you can actually, when you're starting out, you can take knee to elbow on the same side, okay? You can jump it, boom, boom. You can also cross it over, and if you want to really get your hips good, you can open it out, okay?
Okay.
So all of those are options. And I'll do that. I will